Hey everyone, welcome to the Natural Birth Show. I'm Rachel, and today I'm talking with Meredith. We just finished a podcast episode on generational emotional mapping, which is kind of like clearing emotions that have been passed down to you from centuries ago or recent, but we're clearing emotions. If you want to learn more about that specifically, the generational emotional mapping, you can check out the podcast episode on the Natural Birth Talk. But for our YouTube video, what I really want to talk about is your most recent birth and how clearing emotions from your second birth helped you to have a wonderful natural third birth.
Yes. Yeah. So, hi guys. I'm Meredith Rubin Daniels. So I've got into the whole natural birth thing with my first, and he was a natural birth in the hospital, unmedicated, hypno babies, all the things.
Love it.
And so my goal for my second baby, he was supposed to be a home water birth. Get the tub in my bedroom and the whole thing. I was gonna like string lights around, like Christmas lights in the room.
That sounds so nice.
I had this whole plan,
but it didn't work out.
It did not work out. So at 33 weeks, I developed preeclampsia. The baby was breech, and I ended up having a C-section, which was like the total opposite of everything that I wanted.
Absolutely. So there were a lot of emotions involved in that.
Yes, lots of trauma. All the emotions around not having the birth that I wanted, feeling like my baby wasn't getting, what's it called? When the baby passes through.
Oh, all of that good beneficial bacteria. Helping their microbiome.
Yes. All the things. And then we had a 28-day NICU stay, and
it's rough.
All the things. It was a lot. So, after that, like for several months, I was like, this is my story, and like, this is what happened to me. And it was like a huge part of my identity.
Yeah.
And I was working with a chiropractor at the time, and he was like, you have to let this go.
I think a lot of moms who experience birth stories that are not what they want have very, very similar feelings and reactions.
Yeah. It like, one part of me was like, this is me. And the other part of me was like, oh, I want to do all these great things in life and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, you can't be both people at the same time.
That's such a wise statement.
Yeah. Like you have to let go of the things that aren't serving you anymore to move on and be the person that you want to be.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah. So I did a lot of work releasing all of those emotions from that birth. And went on and got pregnant with my third, my surprise baby.
We've talked about how we've both had surprise babies.
Yes, which I will say I manifested him, because in the hospital with my second, I was like, well, I need to have a third baby, because this cannot be the last birth that I have. Like, I need a redo.
Yeah. Well, and for so many moms, their birth after their traumatic birth is very healing for them.
Yes.
And you were wise, and you started that emotional healing process before you even got pregnant with your third.
Right.
And that probably helped you a lot.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your birth story with your third then.
Yeah. So I was putting my second in his crib to go to sleep, and my water broke all over the floor.
Like in the movies, which never happens in real life, but apparently it did.
Oh, yes. I'm a water breaker. Happened with my first also.
How many weeks were you?
39.
Okay.
So, and that was like my big thing. I was like, I'm going to make it to 41 weeks with this one, because having a 33 weeker, like, I was like, I don't care how uncomfortable I am. I want to, make it all the way. And actually when I was 33 weeks with my third, my second fell off the bed and split his lip open, and we had to take him to the MOBAP ER, which is where he was born.
Oh my.
So I was
at
MOBAP on the same day in my pregnancy that I had my second, with a hospital bracelet on my wrist because I was his mom. And like, I was like, oh my God, there's so many things are coming up right now. So, we're at MOBAP. It was this whole thing, but we were able to leave and everyone came home with us and it was fine. And
that
it was
probably had a level of healing in it for you.
Yeah, for sure. Being able to walk out of the hospital with my baby, it was so much better.
Yeah. So now you're 39 weeks with your third.
So I made it to 39 weeks.
Your water breaks all over the floor.
Water breaks all over the floor. So what I actually did was I had kept some of the old hospital panties that they give you.
Those real sexy panties.
Right. Amazing. So I put those on and I went and did my makeup and my hair. So
just make yourself feel good.
Right. I was like, I'm not gonna want to do this later and pictures are gonna be taken, so I may as well do this now, right? So I did that and spent the whole night just having pressure waves, since I'm a Hypnobabies girl.
Yeah. Well, even if you're not using Hypnobabies, calling them pressure or waves or sensations just brings out a different emotion than calling them contractions or painful.
Yes, exactly. So I just was doing great through the entire night. 2 a.m, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't make padsicles. So I was downstairs at 2 a.m, mixing together witch hazel and essential oils and pouring them on the pads and sticking them in the freezer. Gives
you something to do, that labor project that I like to tell clients about.
Right. I was like, there is no other time. I have to do this now. So, but yeah, so we called the doula in the morning. She came over and was like, I told her at that point, I was like, I am rocking this birth.
Yeah.
And so I think, just having that confidence and being like, oh my gosh, this is, amazing and whatever.
Clearing those emotions from your second birth probably really helped you to be able to embrace this birth better.
Exactly.
And to feel so much more confident about it.
Exactly. So we got to the hospital because I was around, I didn't know it at the time, but I was around 6 at that point. And she was like,
that's great.
Let's just go now before things get really intense. And I told her, I said, this baby is going to be born by 4:00 this afternoon.
Yeah.
And, so we got to the hospital and he, I was able to spend some time in the tub.
Wonderful.
And, did lots of lunging and all the things.
So helpful to open the pelvis.
Yes. So he did actually get a shoulder stuck. But
happens.
We were able to get it out and he was born at 3:40.
That's amazing.
So, yeah.
You were so in tune with your body and your instincts, you just knew.
Yeah.
And no epidural, no nothing, right?
No epidural,
totally
no
natural.
Nothing. Yeah, at one point, I will say, my husband and I both thought that I might have broken the hospital bed because I yanked on it. He's like, oh, hopefully that won't end up on the bill.
So your strong mama instincts came out.
Yes. But I mean, I was literally able to get up and walk myself to the bathroom an hour after he was born.
So your recovery was amazing too.
Yes.
And I think, some of that has to do with it being your third baby. You knew what you were doing. But so much of that, guys, has to do with the emotional clearing she did between her second and her third. Yeah. I talked to a lot of moms who are very fearful of a repeat situation when they have a traumatic birth previously. And it sounds like with all the emotional clearing you did not have that. I mean, I'm sure there was a little part of you that was playing the what if game because we're human and we do that.
Right.
But it sounds like overall you were so confident and so powerful and so strong, and you brought your baby earthside in such an amazing natural way.
Yes.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
Guys, if you want to read more natural birth stories, you can check out the Natural Birth site. It's linked below, and I have a bunch of natural birth stories down there. Reading natural birth stories and listening to them is so helpful for empowering yourself for birth. If you feel so inclined, I have a Buy Me a Coffee link if you want to help donate to the page, but you don't have to. And if you have any questions, comment below. Tell me about your natural birth story or the story that didn't go the way you wanted it to. I'd love to hear it in the comments below. Thanks for listening, guys. I'll talk to you in the next video.